Welcome to the Healthy Body. Dr. Alex here. Today we're diving into a subject that's deeply personal, often unspoken, and yet incredibly important for men over 60. What if I told you that, for many men, the very first sign of decline doesn't start in the heart, or in the brain, or even in the muscles? It begins somewhere far more private, in your sexual health. Before you notice the first sign of muscle loss, before you realize your memory isn't quite as sharp, changes may already be happening below the belt. The firmness isn't what it used to be. Sensation feels dulled. Response time slows. And slowly, quietly, you may start to feel like a shadow of the man you once were. I want you to know something right from the start. You are not broken. You are not too far gone. And you are certainly not alone. Over the last 3 decades in men's health, I've seen thousands of men regain vitality, restore confidence, and reclaim their intimate life without relying on pills, without surgery, and without shame. And today, I want to share something you can start tonight, something simple, natural, and surprisingly effective. It's not a prescription drug. It's not an expensive device. In fact, you may already have it in your home. I'm talking about pure castor oil. When used the right way, it can improve circulation where you need it most, soften internal stiffness and scar tissue, calm hidden inflammation, revive nerve sensitivity, strengthen the skin barrier, and restore confidence. By the end of this video, I'll also reveal the single mistake most men make with this method. The mistake that could stop your progress before it even begins. So stay with me, because this is about much more than just improving blood flow. It's about reclaiming your manhood, your energy, and the quiet strength that comes from knowing your body is still fully yours. Before we begin, if you haven't already subscribed to the Healthy Body, I encourage you to do so now, and hit the notification bell, so you never miss a natural health strategy designed specifically for men over 60. If this message resonates with you, type a 1 in the comments. If it doesn't, type a 0. Your feedback helps shape the topics we cover, so I can keep bringing you advice that truly supports your health and vitality. Alright, let's begin with the first major benefit of castor oil, and why it matters so much. 1. Boosts blood flow naturally to your private area. Everything starts with blood flow. Without strong, steady circulation to the pelvic region, nothing else works the way it should. Firmness fades. Response time slows. Sensation weakens. I remember a patient, let's call him Robert, who came to see me at 67. He was a retired teacher, active in his community, and deeply in love with his wife. But one day, sitting in my office, he looked down, took a deep breath, and said quietly, "Doc, it just doesn't respond like it used to." That kind of statement is one of the most common I hear from men over 60. And here's the thing, it's rarely about desire. It's about circulation. As we age, the arteries and tiny capillaries that once filled easily with blood begin to narrow. The lining becomes less flexible. Nitric oxide, a compound your body needs to relax blood vessels, starts to decline. Slowly, those vessels feeding your most vital region shrink and stiffen. This is where castor oil steps in as more than just an old-fashioned remedy. When applied with warmth, its unique fatty acid, ricinoleic acid, penetrates through the skin and helps relax those small capillaries. Instead of forcing blood through, it gently encourages vessels to open and flow more freely. When Robert began applying castor oil 3 nights a week, he didn't expect much. But within a month he returned with a spark in his eyes. He said, "It's subtle, but I'm waking up with firmness again. I'd forgotten what that felt like." That's the quiet power of improving circulation. It's not just about performance. It's about feeling more alive, more responsive, and more connected to your own body. But blood flow isn't always the only issue. Sometimes the real obstacle is hidden even deeper, in the tissue itself. 2. Breaks down internal stiffness and plaque buildup. I once met a patient, we'll call him Daniel, a proud, no-nonsense military veteran in his early 70s. He sat across from me and said, "Doc, something's different. There's a curve now. It feels tight. I'm not in pain, but it's uncomfortable. I don't feel like myself." What Daniel was describing is something I've seen countless times. Internal stiffness, known medically as fibrosis. It develops slowly. Years of microinjuries, untreated inflammation, or even subtle tension can lead to a buildup of collagen under the skin. Over time, this becomes dense, fibrous scar tissue. It can cause curvature, shorten the length, and reduce flexibility. Most men assume it's just aging and permanent, but it doesn't have to be. When castor oil is applied regularly, especially with gentle massage and warmth, it penetrates deep into those tissues. Over time, it helps soften that dense collagen, restoring elasticity and comfort. Daniel committed to a 3 to 4 night routine each week. 6 weeks later, he came back with a quiet smile. It's straighter. It moves more easily. I feel like I'm in control again. Regaining that sense of control is powerful, but there's another hidden factor that can quietly rob you of strength and sensation. Inflammation. 3. Reduces hidden pelvic inflammation. Inflammation isn't always obvious. Sometimes it's not burning pain, it's a subtle tightness, a sense of shrinking, or just feeling less connected. One of my patients, Michael, age 66, described it as, "It feels like everything down there is pulling inward. I feel smaller, less alive." Chronic low-grade inflammation in the pelvic region can restrict movement, reduce blood flow, and dull sensation. It builds up over years, often from minor injuries, reduced circulation, or even poor posture. Castor oil contains powerful natural anti-inflammatory compounds. When applied and combined with warmth, it can calm overactive immune activity in those tissues, creating space for healing to happen. Michael began using it every other night, massaging gently into his lower abdomen and groin before covering with a warm towel. After a few weeks, he said, "Doc, I feel like my body is opening up again." Reducing inflammation can be life-changing, but even if blood flow and tissue health improve, there's still one more vital piece: nerve sensation. 4. Restores nerve sensitivity. For many men, the loss of pleasure is even more distressing than the loss of performance. I'll never forget Larry, age 70, who told me, "I can still perform, but I can't feel it. It's like my body's just going through the motions." The nerves in the genital area are incredibly fine and delicate. Over time, poor circulation, inflammation, and certain medications can dull their responsiveness. By improving blood flow, calming inflammation, and nourishing tissues, castor oil creates an environment where nerves can begin to wake up again. Larry used it nightly for a month, and one day said softly, "I can feel again. It's faint, but it's real. And it reminds me I'm still here." 5. Strengthens the skin and improves barrier function. Now, I want to address something most men overlook: the health of the skin itself. Think of the skin in your most intimate area as the protective barrier to everything beneath: blood vessels, nerves, connective tissue. As we age, skin becomes thinner and loses elasticity. This makes it more vulnerable to friction, irritation, and even micro-tears, which can slow healing and make sensitivity worse. When applied topically, castor oil works like a natural conditioner for your skin. It's rich in fatty acids, which help restore the lipid layer that keeps moisture in and irritants out. One gentleman I worked with, Henry, 72, noticed this change within just a couple of weeks. He told me, "Doc, the skin feels softer, smoother, but stronger at the same time. I didn't realize how dry and fragile it had gotten until now." Healthy skin isn't just a cosmetic benefit. It supports circulation, protects nerve endings, and allows for greater comfort and sensation during intimacy. 6. The right way to use castor oil for maximum benefit. Before you rush to the store, there's a right way to do this, and skipping a step can mean you miss out on most of the benefits. Here's the exact process I recommend to my patients. Step 1. Choose the right oil. Look for 100% pure, cold-pressed, hexane-free castor oil. Organic is best. You want the cleanest product possible since it's going on sensitive skin. Step 2. Warm it slightly. You don't want it hot, just gently warm. This helps it absorb more deeply into tissues. You can do this by placing the bottle in a cup of warm water for a few minutes. Step 3. Apply generously. Use enough to coat the area thoroughly, not just the surface, but massaging gently into the skin for at least 2 to 3 minutes. Step 4. Add gentle heat. Place a warm, moist towel over the area for 10 to 15 minutes. This encourages deeper penetration into the underlying tissues. Step 5. Frequency matters. For most men, I suggest starting with 3 nights a week. Some benefit from daily use, especially at the beginning. Listen to your body and adjust. Step 6. Be patient. This is not an overnight fix. Most men begin noticing changes in 3 to 4 weeks, but the real transformation often happens over 8 to 12 weeks of consistent use. 7. The most common mistake men make. Now, if you only remember one warning from today, let it be this. Don't skip the warmth. Simply rubbing on castor oil and walking away is like trying to brew coffee with cold water. You'll get something, but you won't get the full effect. The warmth isn't just for comfort. It increases blood flow to the area in real time, opens up the pores, and helps carry the oil's beneficial compounds deeper into the tissues where they can actually do their work. I've had men tell me, "Doc, I tried it for a month and nothing happened." And when I ask, "Did you use heat?" the answer is always no. If you take the time to do it properly, the results can be remarkable. 8. Why this works better for men over 60 than pills alone. You might be wondering, if circulation is the problem, why not just take one of those little blue pills? Here's the truth. Pills like Viagra or Cialis can temporarily improve blood flow, but they don't address the root causes: tissue stiffness, inflammation, nerve dullness, and skin health. They're like pouring water into a clogged pipe. You'll get some flow, but the blockage remains. Castor oil works from the outside in, targeting the actual health of the tissues, not just forcing blood through them. For many men, this creates a foundation where other natural strategies, like pelvic exercises, better nutrition, and targeted supplements, can have a much greater effect. 9. The emotional impact no one talks about. Let's step away from the physical benefits for a moment. When a man starts to lose function in this part of his body, it's not just a physical change. It can feel like a deep loss of identity. I've had men in my office with tears in their eyes, saying things like, "Doc, I don't feel like the same man." Or, "It's like a part of me is fading away." And yet, when function starts to return, even slightly, the change in confidence, posture, and self-respect is unmistakable. One of my longtime patients, Frank, called me after 6 weeks of following this protocol. His words were simple. "Doc, I just feel like myself again." That's why this matters. It's not vanity. It's not just about intimacy. It's about keeping a part of your manhood alive. A part that connects to your energy, your confidence, and your overall joy in life. 10. Supporting your results with lifestyle changes. Castor oil is powerful, but it's not magic. You'll get the best results when you combine it with a few other habits that support circulation and tissue health. Stay active daily. Even light walking increases pelvic blood flow. Eat for vascular health. Include beets, leafy greens, berries, and healthy fats. Reduce alcohol and processed sugar. They stiffen arteries and slow healing. Stay hydrated. Water supports blood volume and tissue repair. Stretch your hips and pelvis. Sitting all day restricts circulation. These aren't just good habits. They amplify the effects of everything we talked about today. Gentlemen, your body still has an incredible ability to heal, adapt, and thrive, even after 60. The key is giving it the right environment and the right tools. This simple, natural castor oil method is one of the most overlooked ways to restore function, sensitivity, and confidence in your intimate health. Without side effects, without dependency, and without shame. If you've been feeling like your best days are behind you, I'm here to tell you they're not. You can begin this process tonight. This is Dr. Alex, reminding you that taking care of your body is one of the most powerful acts of self-respect you can give yourself. Until next time, stay strong, stay healthy, and keep living with confidence.